Christmas time, mistletoe and wine.
Oh, what a classic that one is, Tony. Cliff Richard. We were just thinking about Cliff Richard. You know that we did speak about him last week on Win Me the Lottery and his kind of fat shaming of Elvis. But there's one thing that's undeniable. He is the man you want to welcome you to Win Me the Lottery because he's the voice of Christmas. And it is December, it is Christmas time, it is mistletoe and wine.
It is indeed. I think I was wondering where that was from because that is one of my favourites. Actually, my dad's favourite.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It's one of the best. It's one of the best, no matter what anybody says.
When I hear it, it kind of does something to me. I don't know what it is, but I get into the mood of Christmas.
Exactly.
That's what I mean. So, Cliff Richard, obviously, he's been in the news recently, and I think when I think of Wimbledon, I think of Cliff Richard and obviously Christmas.
And to be honest, he's got a message that relates to our topic of the week later because he was obviously fat shaming Elvis. And I guess the message is, okay, there's going to be a lot of chocolate, sweets, turkey, a lot of Christmas parties. Gravy. Just be careful. Stay safe over this Christmas period. But all of that relates to our topic of the week later, which is the expense and the cost of Christmas. It's not cheap, is it, Tony?
No, I mean, all those stuff like we said, you know, turkeys, chocolate, wine, food and drink, wine. Basically. It's not free, is it, Chris?
No.
And it seems to be getting more expensive as the years go by. Obviously, now we're in, what day is it? It's the 4th of December. And it's the run up to, it's official to run up to Christmas, really.
Yeah. It's Advent.
And you see across basically anything post Halloween, the shops are ready to go. Decorations are out. You know, the point of sale of just going like, you know, Black Friday is a big thing. You're pretty much thinking about Christmas, really, and they just want to grab every single penny they can from you, basically.
Right after bonfire night, and, you know, it's the commercialisation of Christmas, don't you? You're paying for the decorations. You're paying for the Christmas cards.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually prepared myself for this, Chris. Yeah. So, knowing that December, you're already thinking about presents and all the social activities that are involved with it, I actually reduced my pension contribution as of December.
Oh, no.
So I can have more money now.
But Tony, what about future Tony?
That will have to come like post-Christmas.
Okay.
I might actually bring back my pension contribution to the same levels I had probably around March time, I'd say, or February. Because then you've got Valentine's Day after that.
Oh, yeah,
like
and your missus is quite demanding when it comes to Valentine's Day.
Well, I am, actually.
Oh, it's you? You demand a lot from her?
Well, I don't know. I demand a lot from myself, Chris.
Nice.
I mean, is there anything more worthwhile spending your money on than on something that you love? Or the day of love?
Argue with that at all.
So, I guess, I think it's... Christmas time is a fun time for... I mean, I think loads of people enjoy Christmas. And for those that don't celebrate, that's completely fine as well.
Yes.
But it's also a very stressful time. And I think a lot of that comes with the finances, I would say. And obviously the cold. But a lot of it is to do with the finances. Because if it is cold, what do? You put on the heating.
Heating bill.
But if you can't afford it and you're going to go into debt, that's more added stress on top of the expectations of Christmas, of presents, socials, food and drink, even holidays, people go away, whatever, visiting family and friends. Cool. I guess if we move on to, our mailbox, Chris, didn't we have something that was quite festive? Would you say?
Tony, our mailbox is swelling. It just gets more and more full every time I look at it. And to be honest, it looks a bit like Santa's sack. And that's how big it is. But Tony, I don't know if you actually know why Santa's sack is so big.
Because it's his favourite time of the year, where we expect presents.
The reason why Santa's sack is always so big is because he only tends to come once a year.
Oh, right, yeah, because Christmas Day delivering.
Yeah, he's got to deliver everything in one day, so it just gets bigger and bigger all year long.
Oh, right.
And then when he comes, it does empty out. But that's why it's so big. But anyway, back to that mailbox. So Tina has been in touch, and she this isn't a festive one. I apologise, but it is in relation to our previous episode where we were talking about first dates, and I tell you what, we have been inundated around first dates. So Tina said a good one. She said, "When I go on a first date where I don't really like the guy, I enjoy the power play of getting my credit card out to pay the whole thing. The credit card I take out has expired, so it wouldn't work. But every single time, they end up paying anyway, and I give them a moment of panic as well," is what Tina says. So I really like that one. So she's actually bringing out an expired credit card as a bit of a power move to make them sweat, only if she doesn't like the guy. And she knows it wouldn't work even if they did let her pay. And then I guess she can just say at that stage, "Oh, something must have gone wrong. It's been rejected. Can you pay instead?" But every single time they pay anyway.
Is it like a game of chicken of some sort?
It's like, isn't it? Yeah.
She must get a kick out of this stuff. Is that how they do
Tina, you dirty dog. Honestly.
There's no money. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's just the idea of
it's
going,
just a power play.
I'm going to pay. The guy's always going to come through.
And you know what? That happens quite a lot anyway, doesn't it? You know, people doing that song and dance about, no, let me do it. Let me do it.
I mean, that everyone has their part to play, right? You can't give in too easy. You've got to look like you want to pay as well. But imagine this, like, how many years out of date is it, Tina? And she goes, it doesn't work. She has to pay. Oh, sorry, I didn't realise it ran out 4 years ago.
Yeah, 1997. The original credit card. But yeah, I mean, it would make me laugh if once they didn't offer to pay and then Tina actually put the credit card in and it actually worked. That would give her a bit of a shock, wouldn't it? Tina, I'm sorry, we like your style, but you're ripping people off here a little bit.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Are we on? No, we're on. I think we're on Tina's side. I like it. It's a bit.
You know what?
Machiavellian, but we like that.
You know, everyone's. You know, if you can get away with it, why not?
Yeah. The only true crime is one you don't get away with.
Exactly.
That's the rule or maxim I live my life by.
But there is that saying, right? There's no such thing as a free meal. So
You're right.
Will she be paying it in other ways later on? Karma. So I hope not, but we shall see.
Tina, be careful.
Talk about karma and manifesting good luck our way. Moving on to segment 1, which is
last Saturday's lotto result.
So it was a decent 7.2 million.
That is good.
It was double rollover.
And spoiler alert, it's going to be a triple rollover. I know that's ruined the next pick because it means we didn't win, but it's going to be a triple. Am I right?
Yes. So it's good and bad. I mean, it's just news. Like, we just carry on the whole thing again.
Tony, we've been saying it all along. It needs to get higher. It needs to get above 10 million. And we're on the right track now. So I think next week's going to be 8.7 million. But anyway, what were those winning numbers, Tony, that no one won?
The formalities of those winning numbers were 2, 4, 11, 23, 26, 33 and 40. Machine name Arthur, ball set 7. What were my numbers? So I only matched 1. So it's 5, 6, 18, 21, 23 and 24. So I matched a 23 there. So, like you said, no winners this week. So it's going to roll over again. Who knows? It could roll over all the way up to Christmas. And then you get a nice big Christmas present.
Oh, Christmas bonus. Christmas bonus, quite literally.
Yeah.
But yeah, 7.2 million, as we say, it's going to go up to 8.7 million.
Yeah.
But just going back to that 7.2 million, Tony, do you remember someone emailed in a few weeks ago and they were saying if they won the lottery, they'd get a private island? And then we had this long discussion. You know, we know that Epstein, he had a private island for nefarious means. And we were saying we'd actually love to buy up a private island to give back and do something really positive. You know, I was saying we could actually test high-speed rail on behalf of the UK government and just say, look, this is actually really working well. We've tested different prototypes. We found a cost-effective way to do it. Rishi, get on with it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've identified a private island in Honduras for just $6.7 million. So
you could buy it. You could afford that.
You could afford that with this £7.2 million, and you'd still have quite a bit of change left over. So this private island is called Rose Cay It is 67 acres, featuring 3 separate sandy beaches. And the south side, with its sandy beach, also has a coral reef in the sea and lots of colourful wildlife around as well. You go snorkelling in there. And that's your own place.
Sounds like paradise.
Tony, it is paradise. If you won the lottery, you have your own private island. And as I say, we wouldn't be doing any of that Epstein stuff if that was our private island.
Definitely not. What I would do, I'll probably set up a resort, all-inclusive.
Oh, right. So you'd have guests there as well.
Yeah, definitely. And it'll be adults only. So really just...
No kids?
No kids or adults.
No under 18. I see what you mean, under 18s, because you don't even want to be associated with... Rumours, scurrilous rumours, we don't want any of them.
None of that. And I'll say no royal family members are allowed on there, just to make sure.
You mean the TV show Royal Family, right?
Well,
just for the legal implications.
Yeah, and that, yes, yes, that's the correct one.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll be busy in Pizza Express in Woking anyway, right?
I might build a Pizza Express on the island, who knows? Yeah. Or a different pizza chain, who knows?
And
or Prezzo.
Prezzo, absolutely. It's going to be hot on this private island because it's by Honduras. But I know that some members of the royal family can't sweat, so it won't really be a problem for them. But we banned them. Sorry, we banned them.
Yeah, they wouldn't want to come anyway.
No.
But
well, isn't that the whole problem that they did?
No, because I said this adults only.
Adults only. Yeah, right. Yeah, you're right. Okay, we take all of that back for legal reasons.
And you know what? I think this is paradise. Why ruin the paradise by setting up a commercial, all-inclusive resort here? Let's just let nature take its course.
That's what I was thinking. Obviously, you want to develop a beautiful house to live in.
Yeah.
But I did have a look at this private island. It's got loads of beautiful flora, and all sorts. And as I say, a lot of sea creatures nearby. So lots of prime opportunity for snorkeling and a coral reef, Tony.
Okay.
This is by Honduras. This is just stunning.
I'm just keep it simple. I want a simple way. I'm just going to sell fruit and flowers. If anyone wants to come, that's it.
So they have to hire a boat. Go all the way to this private island.
Yeah, if they want
just to buy fruit.
Yeah, just simple way. Life age, chill.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, you could buy an island, but some people might go, I don't want to live in sun, sand, and
bliss.
sea.
Yeah, sun, sand, sea, and bliss.
I want grey, rainy, historic London.
Yeah.
You could buy a flat with that. That's something that I might want to do. And then go to an all-inclusive for 2 weeks a year.
You could get a one-bed flat in grey, rainy London, and why on earth would you want your own private island instead of that?
Exactly. You could... You know what, like 7.2, you're talking like in certain postcodes, you might be able just to get...
Studio.
A one-bed flat in like a really high-end...
Mayfair or something.
But it just shows the balance. You get a whole freaking island or a really...
50 square metre studio.
In Mayfair somewhere.
In Mayfair.
But hey, or you can meet in the middle somewhere, go to a nice suburban kind of detached house somewhere.
Richmond or something like that.
Cool. So if we move on to our festive
topic of the week.
So it is festive, but it's also looking at the costs of Christmas, really. And in order for the festivities to really work, you need to spend a bit of money.
Tony, is it just me or is it just spiralling out of control? It's like Eric Ten Hag at Man United. The costs are just getting too much, aren't they?
Or Chelsea. I mean, look how much they spent.
Yes, yeah.
You can argue that he's probably getting more return right now.
It's all a bit Moses Caicedo. Let's just put it that way.
I like that one. But the sad thing for me, I think with literally the financial implications of Christmas is that some people actually go into debt for Christmas. And is that right or wrong?
No, it's wrong. Tony, it's just wrong. If you knew that your loved one was racking up debt just to get you an advent calendar, probably they've treated you to one of those new luxury advent calendars.
Yeah.
The one with gin in it.
Yeah.
And maybe a new PS5 or whatever. Yeah. You wouldn't want that, would you?
It's a hard one. I'm not...
Because you do love PS5.
I haven't got a PS5.
That's what I mean. You'd love to have one.
Oh, yeah, that'll be on the list. But if you're a parent, I think it's more and you've got young children, you're like, I want to create the magic for them.
Yeah.
But they're going, oh, Santa, I want this and that. And then you're like, I can't afford it. Do you go into debt to try and give them that kind of childhood experience?
No, because what I would do for my kid, if that were the case, young kid, I'd just write them a note. Yeah. And it would just say, paying it forward, you'll thank me when you're older.
Okay, so...
Because, you're not racking up any more debt. Yeah. It's going to serve the kid well in the future.
Yeah.
So just say that and maybe give them a few chocolate coins and a mince pie.
How much more information would you give if the kid was older? What if they were like...
Okay, 21 or something.
Or like, and a teenager goes, do you want us to live on the streets or pay rent, for Christmas?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's a harsh reality.
And Tony, the bottom line is children should be seen and not heard. So you don't need to give them any information or context.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, there is an element of like, you could do a bit of window, go take them around Oxford Street. I mean, I don't know if that's a good place these days. Or see the Christmas
just for
lights.
Window shopping,
get them into the mood of that, and you go, look, this is all great, but you're not getting any of that.
Santa's Grotto.
Yeah.
They've probably got a good Santa's Grotto.
Yeah.
You could do Winter Wonderland, but I mean that's rip-off central now as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, is it worth? I've never been to Winter Wonderland. You have, right?
I've been there a few times years ago, but I haven't been in maybe 8-9 years. And Tony, it is the most crowded place in London, which is saying something. Mm-hmm. I think you have to pay to get in now. It's probably 7 or 8 quid for a mulled wine. Mm. I saw some video where it was, I think, at least a £5 for one of those little twirly potato things. The twirly potato
I've always wanted to try that.
I've had them. They have them in Thailand. It's about 50p. And that's about right. I'm not going to pay a £5 for that. And it's just hell on earth because it's so crowded. Yeah. And what do you actually see in there? Just go to a free Christmas market. There's loads of them.
Yeah, I mean, they're dotted around on all parts of London, I would say. But I think you get to the point of, like, going to all these kind of winter wonderlands or going to, socials where you feel like you can't, you feel pressured to attend because everyone's going to be there. It's the cost of your mental health, and not financial, but, like, the pressure of having to go through all the crowds, to see people or hang out with people that maybe you don't even like because it's, they're technically family or friends.
That is a good point. And, the stress of getting the right gift, keeping your children happy, and all that. Getting all the different gifts is a mission in itself these days.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Every month you are budgeting your salary and your savings or whatever, and you've got it down to a T, but then Christmas just throws everything out the window because there's all these additional costs that come in. Like we talked about before, like, the extra heating because it's cold, the presents, the social events, all that type of stuff. And, it's very apt because, we're trying to win a lottery, Winning a lottery, you probably don't need to worry about these
solve
things.
all these problems.
Yeah.
And as I say, we've talked about hired help.
Yeah.
You could hire an elf or just a really short person, a dwarf or whatever, as your little Christmas helper. Santa's little helper.
Yeah, you could. You can, like, we talked about chefs, you could hire a chef to do all the Christmas cooking. That's some stresses during the Christmas Day lunch or dinner.
I'll just say on the job ad, you must be less than 4 foot. But if you are, I'll take you in. I'll give you, bed and board. You can wrap the gifts. You can go and identify the gifts. But, this is the thing with AI, the rapid advancement in AI. Maybe we're going to have some kind of robots to do all that soon anyway.
Hold on, I would hire a chef to do the Christmas meal.
I would.
You would hire an elf.
Well, I'm just thinking even the chef, if it's Christmas, they've got to be an elf. And we can just get them a little stool, or quite a large stool actually, to get up and be able to reach the hob, the pans on the hob, and open the oven door and all that.
Fair enough.
The fridge, the fridge is high up.
I mean, if you've got a really nice flat where you've got an oven that is like waist height, that's quite good. But most ovens are below, so it might quite actually suit the elf. One of the things that I was thinking, it just popped into my head now, the idea of like spinning a story to the kids if you can't afford something, is that I noticed that, the transport's on strike, right?
It's always on strike at the moment.
So you could
How
go
long is this going to go on as well? Again, it's like Eric Ten Hag because it's been like 2 years of strikes.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily blaming the strikers.
Yeah.
But it's getting a bit too much now.
So that's an additional cost. You've got to pay for taxis or getting the car out to go to places.
Oh my goodness.
But you can even go to your kid, like if they don't have any presents on Christmas morning, because you're actually trying to save money, you're trying to be responsible. You go, Santa's on strike.
Oh, that's a brilliant one.
They can go, look at the paper, look, everyone's on strike, Santa's on strike. So.
Santa's actually gone on strike because the government didn't give him an inflationary pay rise this year.
Yeah, or he doesn't want to pay his tax or whatever.
But probably it wouldn't be the government, but it would be the New World Order.
Yeah.
Because he's a global phenomenon, or the Illuminati or whatever, and they just haven't given him a pay rise.
Yeah, I mean, I think these are quite plausible stories just to say to your kids.
George Soros is probably the man behind it.
Yeah, you could say that. Imagine just saying George Soros to your kids and you'd be like, oh yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah,
I understand now.
Yeah.
But I think just to give an idea about, the costs of Christmas, I mean, I've just been doing a lot of kind of searching online about, the main event at Christmas lunch or dinner, depends on how you do it, is the turkey. And I don't know how often you eat turkey, Chris.
I was telling you before, I eat turkey because I'll often get turkey meatballs now. Because obviously you can get beef meatballs, which obviously red meat, it's worse for you. You just get turkey meatballs.
It's less fat, isn't it?
And it does, and it works. In a lot of those meals where you might have beef meatballs. Yeah. But, those are quite cheap. Maybe it's £4 for a pack of 12 turkey meatballs. Yeah. And, if you go around in the supermarket to pick out your Christmas turkey, I'm not even talking about a whole turkey. I'm talking about those kind of pre-packaged, M&S turkey crown or whatever it is. I had a look at £31 minimum the other day in M&S for one of those packages. Yeah,
I mean, like you said, everything's gone up. Like the research I've done is that they said frozen turkey has gone up 20%. They said normal fresh turkey is 6 to 10%. Overall, it's about 10% up from last year.
And it was up massively last year as well, I remember.
Yeah. And you mentioned turkey meatballs. I actually might prefer that because I think turkey's bloody dry.
I was told by a chef once that actually people just cook turkey too long because they're really worried about it.
Okay.
But actually you could cook it a lot less. But anyway, don't quote me, I'm not a chef. We'll ask the dwarf that I'm going to hire.
Do you want a medium rare, right?
You want it medium. But I was thinking the same thing. For people out there who are struggling, you've got two options.
Yeah.
Right. Just get a large chicken. It's easier to cook. It will be a bit juicy. You get all the juice. £4 in Sainsbury's. I had a look. Or, as I say, turkey meatball. It's still turkey. You're keeping the magic of Christmas. Just turkey meatballs with a few roast potatoes. If you want, if you're really struggling, Aunt Bessie's frozen roast potatoes or Iceland's own one. But it's not expensive just to buy a pack of potatoes anyway. Brussels sprouts can be quite cheap. Maybe some Brussels sprouts on the sides. And then maybe some sort of gruel.
Oliver Twist-style.
Well, they have like bread sauce, don't they? That can't be hard to make. Have you ever had that?
I've never actually had
bread
it.
Yeah, my grandma normally makes some bread sauce, and that's quite nice.
What does it taste? Is it
very It's a bit like gruel.
I would say, with turkey, I mean, and Brussels sprouts. These are the things that, they peak at this time of year when people start eating these things. And I would say, yes, turkey, I understand it's traditional and it is less, it's healthier than chicken because it's got less fat. But you end up dousing so much gravy on it, it kind of defeats the purpose, I would say.
Yeah, it probably does.
I'm not a fan of the cranberry sauce.
Really?
Yeah, not a fan of
Tony?
it. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. People talk about the bliss point of the sweet and savoury.
Oh, I love that.
Doesn't work.
Okay.
But I would say, the cost of turkey is, is a big thing on it. It's
prohibitive. It is prohibitive. And why are turkeys going up so much? I think they're ripping us off here, Tony.
I think they've actually got the supplies this year, but they still take.
I think they're just ripping us off. I don't think there's a shortage of turkeys. I
said that last year. I understand that, but not this year.
I went to Sevilla a couple of years ago before Christmas, and they had turkeys wandering about the place in one of the attractions. So, are you telling me that there's a global shortage of turkeys?
I don't think so, but Anyhow, I might change it up this year, not get a turkey and get a chicken or duck or,
How much is a goose now? Because that was the traditional thing, goose. And everyone said that was more expensive.
I think that is way more expensive. I've never looked into it. That's always been on my bucket list.
There's loads of geese all over the place. Just grab one.
Or just go to countryside to shoot one and take it.
Well, if you instead of going to Winter Wonderland,
Yeah.
head to another part of Hyde Park and just grab a goose by its neck, snap it in half, and then you've got your Christmas dinner sorted. If that's what you want to do, obviously
There are implications.
there are implications for doing that, and it's a bit aggressive. But I mean, where do you think what happens to the turkey you eat?
Oh yeah, that's true. And another thing that I would say is that would you include, okay, Christmas has happened, then it's New Year's.
Yeah.
We're still in the festive period. The January sales. Would you? I would include that in the overall cost of Christmas, because look, you might get tempted by the Black Friday. Then you've got all the other stuff that comes up with Christmas, with the advent calendars, the decorations, the food, the socials, the presents, and then bam, you see the January sales come in, and then you're like, oh, I can't help myself.
So it's the sandwich effect. Because you know what it is? It's now they've got Black Friday before.
Yeah.
And it's just far enough before Christmas, 3 or 4 weeks?
Yeah.
That, okay, you get some of the gifts in, but you're bound to need more before. So that's before. And then afterwards, you've got straight away the January sales, the Boxing Day sales.
Yeah.
It's the sandwich effect. You've got a sale on either end that tempts you into more, and then you've got those weeks of hell where you just got to keep buying.
So people's pockets are getting emptied here. So what can we say to our listeners? I mean, like, what did they... I'm sure everyone's got a plan. It's that, for me, one of the things that I reduced my pension contribution, as I said earlier, or like you start saving up in the run-up to Christmas, people start getting the credit card out, or you either start factoring these costs for every other month that goes by, and then you go, oh, there's birthdays here, there's all that type of stuff. But you've got to have it in the back of your head about, oh, these are the additional costs that come up with Christmas. However, if you won the lottery,
you wouldn't have to worry about any of that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, credit card is one option. Personally, I've taken out another loan with Wonga. And I know they have a very competitive rate.
I bet they're getting real popular over Christmas.
So my view is I'm not going to be paying it back anytime soon. Why should I care? So that's one way to do it. But Martin Lewis, I bet you do.
He's like personal finance guru.
Personal finance guru. He's actually said the best gift is giving nothing at all for many people. And he's just said to people, look, don't worry about it. You don't want to fill your home up with tat. Some people just feel they have to get a gift. They don't really know what to get. He just said, don't bother.
Yeah. How many Lynx gift sets does one person need?
How many times did you get a Lynx?
I've had all the
gift set.
I've had all the continents now. Africa, Asia. I don't know. all the animals. It seems like the lynx is the animal.
Yeah.
Atlantis. The places that don't even exist. But hey, I think that's a responsible. I think I know where he's coming from. It's like, don't get into debt for this. It's not a responsible thing to do. I'm sure people would understand. I mean, would you be happy to go, look, sorry, you could do a card that goes, sorry, there's no gift, but I was thinking of getting you this. So it's the thought that counts. I just don't want to go into debt. Merry Christmas.
What you can just say is that, I'm sorry, I've adopted a goat for you in Africa. I've named a star after you. There's no proof of it, but I promise you. I've donated to charity on your behalf.
Yeah.
I've donated to the Battersea Dogs Home.
Yeah. Another thing is that why do we need to actually spend money and buy stuff? Why couldn't you make things? I think if you had really thought about this person, made a bespoke gift, like a drawing, or, stitch some socks together to make a puppet or something like that. I think I would find that more valuable than if you got me, I don't know.
That's such a good point.
Something from a designer handbag that is just like some poor kid had to work in a sweatshop to make, and it's overpriced. I'm probably not going to use it because I'm scared of getting robbed, when I can have, some socks that you've worn for a few years that has some holes in it anyway, but you've made some eyes out of it, and it's a puppet that I can pass down to my kids. And it's like a family heirloom of some sort. You know, I think that's more valuable. I think that's more magical and more in the spirit of Christmas.
A knitted handbag.
A knitted handbag. Why design one?
Yeah.
You put your effort into it. A real thought behind it.
These are fantastic ideas, and this is just for listeners to think about. Okay, I haven't got 2 pennies to rub together. I had another idea. We talked about adopting a goat.
Yeah.
I've had an even better one, and this will kill.
Yeah.
Pardon the pun. It will kill 2 birds, or maybe even more, with 1 stone.
Oh yeah.
Adopt a turkey. So you just say, right, I've adopted a turkey. I've saved it from being killed for Christmas dinner. And I'm actually not going to make turkey because I love turkeys. We're going to have vegan chicken this year instead. Fake chicken. I've saved a turkey, and it's all done in your name.
You can't be angry with that.
No.
I think I might take off. Actually, no. What would be the main event at the table then? So a vegan chicken.
Yeah, probably vegan chicken. I don't really know.
What's a vegan chicken? No, it'd be like a nut roast.
I've only seen. Yeah, you could do nut roast. That's probably better. But I have seen the vegan chicken where it's just the slices. I mean, it's just it's just tofu, isn't it? It's just soy. But
why not?
You could have just stir fried a bit of vegan chicken up.
At least it wouldn't be dry.
Yeah.
I'd be up for that.
With soy sauce or something.
Yeah.
Maybe some noodles.
So Martin Lewis, his Christmas message is the best gift is just give nothing at all.
Yeah,
I'm with that. I think that's sensible.
Yeah. Well, I'm probably not going to do it this time, but these are just great ideas for people. I think adopting a turkey.
Have we checked if that's even possible? Is that a thing? That might already be a thing.
If it's not a thing, Tony, I'm smelling some dollar here again. Whether it's on the current app or we do another app just for this.
No, it'll be an additional thing we'll roll out for the Christmas period.
Yeah, exactly.
Adopt a turkey. And they've adopted a turkey on their dating profile.
I reckon you could probably adopt a turkey for less than M&S sell the turkey crown.
Yeah. And sometimes, presents, we think of like physical things. They could be experiences, right? Yeah. And, some people go, oh, yeah, I'm going to, here's 100 quid for the theatre another time, or to have a dinner in a nice restaurant. We could do the whole thing about this. Why don't you just go to a park with a thermos?
Yes. Yeah.
The lights there. Yeah.
You're making memories. The whole thing is about, okay, I want to make memories. Yeah. Because you don't really remember the tats that someone got you.
Yeah.
Some gifts are worse than others. But even if you do get a new iPhone or a new MacBook or something like that, you're not going to remember that for many years afterwards. Whereas if you have a magical moment in the park, the snow's falling down, it's Christmas, there are Christmas lights everywhere, sparkling away at you, you're going to remember that forever because you've just had 5 cups of coffee, you're buzzing, and you've probably done some crazy things in that park with whoever you're with.
I would say so. I mean, you can remember the bellyache you had of having those 5 cups of coffee. And you can remember frostbite on your nose. I mean, easily. I mean, that's more memorable than
and probably
PS5.
After having that many coffees, you needed the toilet. You couldn't find a toilet, so you might have frostbite somewhere else as well when you've had to go outside.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. So there are costs to Christmas.
Yeah.
And I would say, people just don't go too crazy if you can't afford it. Spend within your means.
Tony, it's still the most wonderful time of the year.
Yeah,
we have to remember that.
You can still enjoy the festivities without going broke and in debt. Yeah. And I think that is the wise thing to do. And if you choose to splash out and, spend beyond your means, that's completely up to you. Completely up to you.
Just make sure you have a low interest credit card.
Yeah. And maybe the lottery is your saving grace at the end of it.
It probably will be if you listen to this podcast and you use all the tips that we come out with.
Yeah. But hey, email us in to see what you're going to be doing for Christmas. If you're going to go overboard or you're going to keep it sensible.
Yeah. Let us know. You can also DM us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
Yeah. Exactly.
Win me the lottery. Win me the lottery.
Win me the lottery. That's it. Cool. So if we move on to our final segment, which is picking next week's numbers, we had quite a few interesting ones actually this week, Chris. And one of the first ones that I wanted to talk about was the relationship between, I guess, woman and husband, really. And sometimes these relationships aren't easy. And I guess in the festive period, sometimes finances can be a real kind of relationship killer, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes, you let your emotions take over you, and you might actually do something that you regret. So with this story that I'm starting with, it's quite a shocking headline. So I'll read it out. It's woman punches husband to death for not taking her to Dubai on her birthday. So imagine your wife going, can you take me to Dubai? And you go, sorry, I can't afford it. And then you pay with your life, basically. One of the first things that I thought about is that how strong is this woman to
punch him to death. Yeah, what we need to establish here is, was it a one-punch knockout? Because that would be incredible. Obviously we wouldn't laugh about this, but that would be impressive in its own right.
She would have a career in the UFC.
Yeah.
If that was the case. So according to this article, the incident took place in the couple's apartment. And in the shocking incident, the guy died when he was punched on the nose. So right on the nose by his wife after he refused to take her to Dubai on her birthday.
Square on the shiner. Oh my goodness.
So just a bit more detail. So, oh dearie me, it goes. What did it say here? So it also said the police further informed that during the fight, Renuka, which is the woman, punched Nick Hill in the face. The impact of the punch was so hard that Nikhil's nose and some teeth were broken. Damn, she's got a haymaker on her. With heavy bleeding, Nikhil lost consciousness. So I guess...
I guess it was a one-punch knockout. This is shocking.
This guy's got a glass nose then, or glass face, because either she is discovered a new talent in the fight game, or this guy is made out of glass. But we can't laugh at this thing. He's paid with his life.
He's passed away. He won't be singing Christmas this year, Tony.
She won't be going to Dubai anytime soon. She'll be going behind bars. Would you want to be behind bars in Dubai? That's
yeah.
So she might have dodged that one. But yeah, the number was 38 because she's 38 years old, so she's not a spring chicken to do that, inflict that amount.
No, she should know better. She really should. But yeah, I mean, that is entitled, isn't it? So it does say it was in the couple's apartment where it took place is located in a posh residential society. So obviously it got a bit of wealth as well. She was expecting a trip to Dubai.
Yeah.
And she just belted him one right in the shiner. That is shocking, isn't it?
I reckon it's probably not her first time doing that.
No,
She'd
not
probably
her first rodeo.
Let me help him understand. He's not taking me seriously.
All actions have consequences.
And now, it might be putting himself out of that misery. Sometimes people live in quite miserable marriages. And I'm not saying it's a good thing.
You say she's done him a favour.
Well, maybe he might have gone, look, I can't,
I can't take this anymore.
Maybe he goes, I can't leave her. The only way out is an out. But yeah, that's number 38. It's a bit of a grim one, but what I would say, the final thing, is that resorting to violence, you may not have the intention of killing someone with a punch, but that is always a possibility. So is violence, even the consideration of violence even worth it? No.
Not at this time of year, Tony.
A real person wouldn't resort to violence.
No.
I was going to say a real man, but it was a woman that did it this time. But cool. That's my one. 30.
Oh, that is shocking. I mean, that is distressing, to be honest, Tony. And something else that's a little bit distressing is the absolute mayhem being caused over in the US. So, we haven't spoken about this yet, but the biggest ever Powerball jackpot, so that's the lottery in the US, took place recently. $2.04 billion, Tony.
That is...
And I just think that's
lovely.
too much. I mean, we say it's not enough in the UK when we're talking about 3-4 million. $2 billion. $2 billion is outrageous. But what happened here was that the winner was Edwin Castro. Right? So he claimed the $2.04 billion prize. And following on from that, somebody else has actually put themselves forward that they were the rightful winner. So this was Jose Rivera. And he's now doubled down on his claim that he's the rightful winner of America's biggest ever Powerball jackpot, even after being charged with filing a false police report last month. So here's his quote. "It's ridiculous that they're trying to put charges on me for my own ticket. I don't have words for it. I showed them that I am the rightful winner. I was the one who bought the ticket. I'm going to show everyone that I'm the rightful winner." So this guy, Rivera, is hotly disputing it, but seemingly without much proof that it's his ticket. What do you think about this? Do you believe him? I mean, the police have said it's false.
So who does he have the actual physical ticket then?
No, I don't think so.
He's trying to pull a fast one here.
Yeah.
You know what I think he's hoping for? He's probably going, look,
we'll settle this out of court.
Yeah, you've got $2 billion. Just give me $10 million. I'll leave now.
I'll bugger off.
It's not too for the whole aggro. Just going for the lawyers. Like, do you really want to spend your time dealing with this when you can just pay me off right now? I'll sign what you need me to sign. That'll be the end of it.
It'll be another lottery NDA, won't it, Tony?
Yeah. So he's a bit of a chancer. Or he might be spelling the truth. I don't know.
And this is the thing that's really piqued my interest about the whole thing, because we do on this podcast offer lottery tips. How can you make your fortune from the lottery? Is this, and it's not one that we would condone, but is this another way that you could make your fortune from the lottery? Piggybacking on somebody else's success. Say, hey, that was me. And you've probably seen the lottery advert this year where it's Crazy Frog involved. And I think it was last year as well. And what happens there is a guy on a train writes his number on the back of his lottery ticket to this lady who's jumping off at that stop.
Yeah.
And then she's at home and she sees the winning lottery draw. This is the winning ticket. And she runs to the train to get on and find the guy, and she gives it back to him. And that's a moral question as well. If you just met somebody once, would you actually claim that money for your own if you found that, if that lottery ticket is now in your possession? Okay, you haven't rightfully bought it, but there can be no proof otherwise. The guy's probably forgotten his numbers if he got a lucky dip.
Okay, you mentioned the train. So, okay, it'll probably come to this. If I found out that I won the lottery and I had a ticket, if the trains were on strike, then I probably would go because I know he'll still be there. But if it wasn't, then he'll be long gone, and how am I going to locate him? I'll probably go, look, I'll collect the money. If he remembers, I'll save some of it for him. If he doesn't, then I'll go, fine.
Yeah.
He doesn't remember.
Yeah, he doesn't remember.
I'll keep it.
I mean, it's a quandary, isn't it? Obviously, in this advert, she really liked the guy.
Oh, right. Okay.
And, by the way, has a really good ringtone. If he's got Crazy Frog still on his ringtone, that's quite impressive.
He's a catch. Yeah.
He's a catch.
1 in a million.
Quite literally. But, so that's obviously the thing. But then it's a bit of a moral quandary, isn't it? Because it's like, even if it is the love of your life, do you really want to split the winnings on that off chance? I think I'd be tempted to just take it. And this could be another method, is all I'm saying, Tony. We wouldn't condone it, but you could piggyback off the back of another lottery winner, and you say, well, actually, this ticket was mine. And it has to, you've got to be careful. They would have had to have bought it from a store, and somehow that store didn't have CCTV, for example.
Yeah.
And the shopkeeper's forgotten who they sold it to.
I would have to look at previous cases to see if the person that was claiming that they won it got into trouble. If they did prison time, maybe it's probably not worth the risk.
Yeah.
If they got, everyone was fine, they didn't do any kind of get charged for trying to falsify or commit fraud. That's another thing. Yeah. So, what was the number for that one, Chris?
So the number for that one was actually the number 2, and the reason for that is that this was the biggest ever Powerball jackpot of $2 billion, Tony.
How many islands could you get with that?
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
Quite a large country. Well, medium-sized country. No, maybe a small country.
Tony, you could buy about 5% of Twitter, or now X for that.
Well, yeah, I mean, is it a worthwhile investment? Who knows? Cool. So the next one I had was, it's actually office related. So as you know, New York is one of the go-to destinations that I think of when I think of Christmas.
Home Alone.
I think of Home Alone. I think of like
Steve Bruce in Home Alone. Do you remember that? It was the pigeon lady. Looks very similar to Steve Bruce.
It looked like someone said it looked like Piers Morgan a bit.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But yeah, I can see the Steve Bruce got strong jaw.
Steve Bruce.
But basically, yeah, New York is one of those places where you think, oh, Christmas. You think about what's it, Macy's and like
Macy's. Yeah,
the stores, the
Fifth
decoration,
Avenue,
Fifth Avenue,
Times Square.
But you also think of like quite fancy offices and stuff like that, don't you? You think of New York,
Wall Street.
What else you got there? You got like Manhattan,
Oh,
all those type of places. So, as you know, ever since the pandemic, the office has been kind of not been that busy because people have been working from home.
Woke, lazy losers won't go in the office anymore. According to Jacob Rees-Mogg. That is not my opinion. But.
Well, some people actually share that opinion, go like, we've had the 2+ years. We've done the hybrid. Let's get back to normality. Let's do the five days a week, what we used to do before.
Tony, why leave it at 5? There are 7 days in the week.
Well, this is America. It's hustle culture, isn't it? Yeah, why not, right? Yeah. So one of the things that I saw was that, the headline was, will a big office Christmas tree get you back? NY's professional decorators hope so. So really what this article's talking about is that, these grand offices, they haven't really been decorating them that much for Christmas over the past 2 years. 3 years, during the whole pandemic period, because no one was coming in. Now, property management companies have seen leases drop by 33% from already miserable 2022. So that's no surprising that.
Offices are downsizing. And
downsizing.
That's why people
hybrid.
are buying in a bit, because it's been proven now, hybrid works.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty much proven. And it just means if people are only going in 2-3 days a week and you mix up the days people go in, you don't need so much office space. And that runs into millions of pounds or dollars for prime locations.
Yeah, I mean, not to go to kind of London, but we saw that article about Facebook, right, where they just cancelled that lease.
Yeah,
and how much? They paid 148 million just to break their lease contract. Yeah,
I mean, that just sums it up, doesn't it?
So I guess with this article, they're looking at how do you entice people back or create that environment of what
big
you
Christmas
miss.
Tree.
Have an amazing Christmas tree and decorations in these offices to go, hey guys, don't you miss coming here around Christmas time? Let's get back into the office. And these professional decorators are actually kind of spending time really look at the office spaces in
Eggnog.
New York.
Yeah. That's what I would say. Get some eggnog on tap. Just have it around the office, maybe mulled wine, mince pies. Maybe bring in a Santa.
Yeah.
And I would say just for equality, we could have a female and a male Santa.
Yeah.
Or Mrs. Claus or whatever, that people can go and get gifts from.
I think they should bring back, getting your Christmas bonus in like envelopes.
Yeah.
And they'll be around the Christmas tree in the office.
Yeah, and Santa presents it to you.
Yeah,
or Mrs. Claus.
You got to physically go in and you collect it.
Yeah, but in the grotto.
Yeah.
Right, that's brilliant. So basically they build a grotto and you go in there, you meet Father Christmas and Mrs. Father Christmas.
Yeah.
Mother Christmas. They give you the envelope with the Christmas bonus. What else? Mince pie, some sherry maybe. Maybe you have a couple of glasses of sherry in there with Mr. and Mrs. Christmas. And then you come out with your bag. I think that'd be brilliant.
It'd be like some festive fun that's happening in there.
Yeah.
Or if they wanted to be really smart about it, they could break up the Christmas bonus into like many small pieces. And they go, you've got to come in every day to receive a small part of it throughout the year, starting from Christmas onwards. So that's to get people into the office.
It's a check. Yeah, so it's like a treasure hunt almost. And you have to come in 365 days a year to glue it all together, and then you can cash it afterwards.
Depending how generous your bonus is, it could be like $10 a day or $1 a day, whatever it is. It's up to you. Do you want to come in and get it or not? Otherwise, they'll keep it. My number's 33 for that one because they've seen leases drop 33% from 2022.
Okay.
So hopefully Christmas trees will get people back in.
Oh, I hope so. But I would definitely recommend eggnog, sherry, all those Christmas drinks, Baileys. People like. I like the vegan version of Baileys because I'm lactose intolerant.
I didn't even know there was a vegan version.
Yeah, in M&S they do one.
Oh,
it's really good. But yeah, so that's obviously depressing that leases have dropped 33%. But wait until you hear this one. This is shocking and quite scary. A cruise ship passenger has told of his horror after discovering a spider, and I'm not talking any old spider, I'm talking big tarantula-style spider here, had laid eggs inside his toe, including one that hatched. So basically this guy, Mr. Blake, he went on a cruise with his wife, and we've talked about this before. You know, Tony, you said...
Is he retired?
He's not retired. Oh. We have talked about the retired couple who wanted to see out their last years, days, hours, perhaps, on a cruise. And didn't they book 50 cruises or something? 51 cruises.
I was ambivalent about a story. Yeah. She's like, they're living it up, and then it's like, but they might have wanted a good care home, but they couldn't afford it.
They couldn't, and then you think, what are they doing for Christmas then? But anyway, so Mr. Blake and his wife, they went for their 35th wedding anniversary on a cruise, and they were by Marseille on this cruise, right, south of France. And a Peruvian wolf spider actually bit Mr. Blake and somehow got inside his toe to lay eggs, or laid eggs inside his toe after biting it. Eventually, they discovered one of the eggs had hatched into a small spider, which was stuck underneath his skin. This is what Mr. Blake said. They believed the spider was making its way out, eating its way out of my toe.
Wow, that is grim.
But Tony, I have to say, and maybe I think we had another story about a tarantula a while ago where I think motorists swerved to avoid a tarantula and caused a massive accident on the road, and the tarantula walked away unscathed. But I've got bad news this time. The spider died. The spider that was stuck inside his toe did pass away, and Mr. Blake chose not to keep the dead spider when asked by medics. But isn't that shocking? Honestly, a spider inside your toe.
That, you know what, the laying eggs thing is just downright, that's like one of the kind of fears that I have, sort of some type of creatures laying eggs under my skin somewhere.
There's definitely been some sort of horror movie that features something similar to that, hasn't there?
I mean, you got the idea of an alien, you know, when that thing gets and it kind of impregnates him from the mouth. But I'm sure there's loads of horror movies. I think it's just the idea of being a host to something, and that's an unexpected present, really, of some eggs under your toe.
Hey, it's not Easter, Tony. It's Christmas.
One of the things, like, the idea of like leaving it there, is that some type of cool, like, oh, is that a tattoo or is that some dirt on your toe? Oh no, it's just a spider that died there. Interesting, unique story. But, when you're on a date, I'm not sure if that'll go down well.
I think if he were using our app, you know, he could put that as a special feature or tagline. It really worked well.
Photo.
Yeah, it would.
Like, what is that? Oh, it's just a spider that died under his toenail.
It's just vile. But anyway, so that was their 35th wedding anniversary. And so I've gone for the number 35, Tony.
Right. Cool. The next one I had is, I do like talking about the law and lawyers, but I also like my snacks as well. So I like watching, you know, court cases, and I like, you know, snacking on popular, you know, snacks. And this story brings both of them together in quite an offbeat way, really.
Because, Tony, I mean, we respect the law.
Yeah.
We've got to say that first and foremost. We always say we let the legal system take its course, the legal process. And all we want to see happen is that the rule of law is upheld.
Yeah.
On this podcast, anyway, both you and I. But more than that, we love snacks.
Yeah. And sometimes you've got to share all stories about the kind of associated with the legal system and justice, really.
Yeah.
And I think this is an interesting one where sometimes, you trust what they call lawyers or attorneys, and these are people of respect. People that are within the community that you go, look, this is upstanding citizens upholding the law, protecting, representing, the us.
Us?
Representing
They're there
us.
to represent all of us.
But sometimes they get into trouble themselves. And with this headline is Ohio attorney is suspended over pooping in a Pringles can and leaving it in the parking lot. So that's not what you would want from a lawyer, would you, Chris?
No.
Especially one that you would think is a serious and respected lawyer. I mean, you get all types of lawyers, right?
Tony, he is sending the rule of law down the toilet, which is what he should have been doing with his poop as well, to be honest.
I can't argue with that, Chris. I mean, the Ohio Supreme Court suspended an attorney who defecated into a Pringles potato chip can and then tossed it into a parking lot of a crime victim advocacy centre. So that's a bit of disrespect happening there. He actually argues, so his name is Blakesley, his defence is that he said he didn't target anyone, but had a habit of putting his feces in Pringle cans and randomly throwing them from his car. He claimed he pulled the Pringles prank at least 10 times that year. So it sounds like a bit of a fetish, to be honest.
You'd have to say that, wouldn't you?
One thing I would say is that once you pop, you can't stop. Is something that is so relevant for this story.
Definitely in this case.
But isn't that, I would say that's a bit of a fetish. I think he's not saying that.
It has to be. I mean, defecating in a Pringles can. It obviously is one of the large Pringles
Oh, yeah,
cans.
it's your typical can.
It's not the mini one. We don't know.
I think it's the large one.
10 times in a year. But also, what does he really get out of it? Because people aren't going to just pick up a random old can of Pringles and open it, are they? Or maybe like homeless people.
They are Moorish. You might go,
yeah.
I'm in luck here. Boom. Oh, it gets kicks out of that.
You know, it is true, though, what they say about Pringles. It's not often that I have Pringles, but whenever I have, I don't know how much salt is in there or what it is about them. But once you open that, you genuinely can't stop. So maybe that's it. You know, they've just dusted off one can of Pringles, see one lying around, pick it up a little bit. Oh, it feels heavy. It's weighty. Next thing, they crack it open, and that's inside. Oh, my God.
So, yeah, I mean, he's done it 10 times, so clearly there's some type of addiction happening.
Sometimes in a year. So that means he's done it many more times over his lifespan.
They said a year. He must have done it before.
Yeah.
Way before that. So, yeah, number 10 is the number that I'm going for.
I like that one, Tony. Obviously, we don't condone it whatsoever.
Yeah. And hopefully it doesn't put you off Pringles.
No.
Just don't grab any off that are lying around in the street. Just go to a respectable store.
But yeah, back on theme, the last one I'm going to go for is... let me ask you a question, right? Lots of popular Christmas markets around.
Oh, yeah.
Every city in the UK has one now. A lot of towns have one as well. How much should it be, in your opinion, for a hot chocolate at a Christmas market?
Like $3.50.
$3.50, and I think that's even on the pricey end. You know, I mean, it's hot chocolate. To me, hot chocolate should be £2.
Yeah.
If we're being honest about it.
We'll talk about the drink, by the way, aren't we?
Absolutely, not the band.
Cool. Okay, cool.
Or do you mean something else?
I don't know. You know, people, I hear hot chocolate used in different ways. But yeah, the hot chocolate drink. Yeah.
Definitely the drink. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, $3.50, even that's pushing it, maybe £4. I mean, if you get an artisan coffee in a really good hipster shop, it'd be £4 or more. Edinburgh Christmas market, and you're just not going to believe this when I say £5.80. This is at the Edinburgh Christmas market, as I say. £5.80, Tony, for a hot chocolate. I mean...
Do I get anything else for that?
Well, I must say, looking at the photo, almost £6. It does look like it's got cream on top and actually a Cadbury's flake sticking out the top.
Oh, right.
Or just a flake. I'm sure it's not Cadbury's, actually. Just a bog standard flake. And by the way, how much is it for a big box of those flakes? Probably not much.
Yeah.
And he did get a straw. And it looks like a paper straw, so at least they're giving back for the planet.
Yeah.
But it's not a reusable cup. And yeah, it looks a bit sad, this Christmas market. It doesn't look very big. And the guy who bought it said it lacked festive ambience with its half-naked Christmas trees, and the noise from the speakers was deafening.
What about the hot chocolate? Was it good? Did it say
He
that?
hasn't said. He's doing a lot of complaining here, Tony. I'm almost beginning to turn against him. And guess how much it was, right, for a box of 5 churros with chocolate sauce?
10 quid.
$7.50, 5 churros. So that's pretty bad as well, isn't it?
Okay, for $5.80 for hot chocolate, I would be annoyed if they use that kind of Cadbury powder stuff and they've
That's
added
what I was thinking. I wouldn't be surprised if they just use the powder. I mean, what is the profit margin on that? And by the way, if it's 5 churros for $7.50, that's $1.50 a churro. And I bet they weren't big churros either.
You know, you do hear some fancy hot chocolates where it's like melted chocolate.
Yeah,
the
like
fancy
a
stuff.
hotel chocolat.
Yeah, something like that. And it's like proper like drinking chocolate. So it could be some of that stuff, but $5.80, I mean, you could get a whole chicken with that in certain places, right? We
Yeah.
talked about the main event for your Christmas dinner.
Yeah. You could adopt a turkey for that much
Yeah.
on our app. We don't know yet. But you have to say, the more that I read this article, I almost began to side with the Christmas market because this guy was just complaining like crazy. So he wrote, I paid £7.50 for a small box of 5 churros with chocolate sauce. They were perfectly serviceable, though to be honest, I'm not sure they were worth the price. After the churros, I was feeling thirsty, and there is nothing more festive than a cup of hot chocolate. So I hunted around to see if I could pick some up. I eventually did find a stall serving it, but was disappointed to find out it cost £5.80 for a deluxe hot chocolate. The drink, okay, here you go, here's your answer.
Okay.
It was served with whipped cream, marshmallows, and a flake. Was undeniably tasty, but considering how quickly it disappeared, almost £6 seemed awfully steep.
Well, I don't know how much marshmallows are in a flake, but...
Sorry, I've just read the next bit. This is quite good as well. Terrace headed over to take a look at the rides after his pricey snack break, but the excitement to ride the big wheel was short-lived when he realised it was 10 quid per person for one go on the big wheel. Oh,
This is what we're
They're
talking about.
bleeding us dry at the cost of Christmas.
The Winter Wonderland, this is you're gonna need a lot of money to have a good time if you've got kids there. It is. I don't know how people afford that.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted a family of 4 on that big wheel, it's 40 quid.
You get everyone a meal as well there. You get everyone a drink. You pay entry as well. You could go to Spain and back.
We should actually tot it up. If all you got was the hot chocolate churros and a trip on that big wheel for family of 4, you're paying telephone numbers for that.
And the cost on your health as well.
Absolutely.
Not mental health, but physical health. All the sugar.
I bet they've got those photo booths there. Have you seen those have been popping up everywhere? It's probably
right.
12 quid a pop for a photo in a photo booth. But Edinburgh's Christmas market have stuck up for themselves, and they've just said we've welcomed over 125,000 visitors over opening weekend, and the overwhelming response has been positive. Customers have got in touch to say it was just so magical with all the lights, beautiful atmosphere. So they've stuck up for themselves. 125,000 visitors at those prices. Edinburgh must be raking it in here, Tony.
That's 125,000 people in debt, I reckon. Yeah.
Over the breadline from that. But yeah, that is shocking. And I'd love to see exactly what the rest of the food costs there. If you want to get a main meal, because he didn't even have his main meal.
You know those like big kind of German sausage hot dog things?
Oh yeah, I like those. Yeah,
That's got to be over 10 quid, I reckon.
that's probably 12 quid there now.
Hey, you know what? If you can afford it, why not, right?
But you've had to win the lottery beforehand.
Great, I think that's our last one, Chris. So what was the number on that one?
That one I've gone for 58 because it was £5.80 for a hot chocolate,
Ah, okay.
a deluxe hot chocolate. So I've just merged that together, 58. And hopefully we can win, even if this guy was clearly... And I think he will remain a loser from the way he was complaining about that. But he did have a point on the hot chocolate.
Imagine that if we won the lottery, we'd just go nuts at like a Christmas market. We'd just get whatever we want.
We'd just go mad, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
But we wouldn't give anything to this guy because he's such a whinger.
Cool, I like a 58. You know, we haven't had such a high number for a while.
I think that's where we've been going wrong. Yeah.
Cool, so the numbers that I am picking this week as follows is 2, 10, 33, 35, 38, and 58. So that's, I guess, our first set of festive numbers.
And we've got
December.
plenty more festive episodes to come throughout the month.
Yeah, we're going to continue the festivities, I guess, for the next few weeks.
I think let's see what people, we get so many emails coming in, and that's driven some of the most recent topics of the week. So let's see what people come in with.
And with the festivities, why not send us like a Christmas e-card? That'd be quite nice.
Adopt a turkey on our behalf. Or, actually, what I would prefer is if they give us the money to adopt the turkey, and then we just work that out afterwards.
Yeah, or give us money for the lotto, for extra lottery tickets as well.
Yeah.
And then we use that money to adopt a whole farm of turkeys later on for next year.
We could actually buy out the nation of Turkey if we get enough. But yeah, I was thinking, people say, just donate me the cost of a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I'm going to start saying, just donate me the cost of an Edinburgh Christmas market deluxe hot chocolate.
That's smart, you should get more money, wouldn't you?
Exactly, it's double, I think.
I would say, I said Christmas e-card because obviously we don't want to give people the address to send cards properly. Well, maybe not just yet.
But we can do the email address.
Yeah, tony.win.lotto@gmail.com. And I would also say is that, when was the last time you sent a Christmas... Do you send paper Christmas cards? That's an additional cost. You've got to pay envelopes and stamps.
Grandma, because she does it. My parents, I'll get them one and just, when I go back, give it to them. Sister, maybe. Maybe not. I don't think she'll send me one.
You know what? I did a clever thing about nearly 6 months ago. You know what I did? To save money because I knew the cost of Christmas.
Oh, you bought the leftover... Don't tell me it was when Paper Chase was shutting down. I went into one of them and I saw them and I was like, I can't be bothered. That would have been brilliant. They were going for like 20p, the Christmas cards.
I bought a whole pack of really fancy Christmas cards for £1.
Oh,
so I'm covered. So I'm reducing
that's fine,
my
you can give me some.
Well, I'll charge you £2. But yeah, I'm reducing the cost of Christmas because I knew it was coming. Because I was like, if I don't win the lottery, I need to have some kind of precaution in place.
Are these Christmas cards eco-friendly?
Probably not,
an entire rainforest has been felled in South America just for us to send Christmas cards. So this is what I'm saying. Let's save the turkeys. Let's save the rainforest. I'm not sending any Christmas cards. I'm not buying any Christmas gifts. I'm not making a turkey. Instead, fine, okay. I don't really want a vegan meal. I don't want a nut roast or vegan chicken. So I am going to make a chicken. But I'm going to save a turkey. And I'm going to adopt a turkey for you as your gift. And I'm just going to make a chicken roast for Christmas dinner.
You know when they say they wish it was Christmas every day?
Yeah, wizard.
But you're living like Christmas is every day.
Exactly.
You're having an everyday meal.
Exactly. You should remember they used to say a dog is for life, not just for Christmas.
Yeah.
I think we should apply that. Because
I think that's a sensible way of looking at things. It can be Christmas every day if you do the same thing that you would do every day at Christmas.
And by the way, we do not condone having dog meat for Christmas.
Oh no, definitely not. Definitely not. And I would say, just obviously enjoy the festivities. Stay safe.
Stay safe. Hopefully you enjoyed the football at the weekend when Newcastle annihilated Man United.
I like how you use annihilation as 1-0. Every time you say annihilation, it's like 1-0. But yeah, stay safe, follow and subscribe. And I guess we'll see you next week for the continued Christmas festivities
on
Win Me the Lottery. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.